and away we go here for Xbox Division 3.
Still wheel to wheel coming out of turn 19.
Tries to go down the inside of Desio. Desio giving him space, but not by much.
Oh, and he's oversteered, and he spun. They're side by side, off the track, neck and neck. Hello and welcome to PPR's PC Division 2. We're here in Brazil for the second to last round. That is the penultimate round in our Season 1. It's been a cracker so far. Unfortunately, our season champion is unable to make it tonight due to PC issues. I'm alongside Jeb.
Hello there.
How's your day going, good sir?
Well, currently it's 2 a.m. in the morning, so I've got to keep it down a fair bit, but it's been a decent day, yeah.
Yeah, we have currently, it looks like Custom going to be the first one to start his lap, so we're right on board as he takes us through. Definitely one to look for in a pole as a pole sitter here. Up to turn 1, drops it down to third gear, down into second now, keeping it nice and tidy, not to invalidate, using all the track there, all of the curb as much as possible, keeping it flat through this exit, activating that DRS as he comes up to the next turn. Hard on the brakes there, down to third, sets a purple sector, but the guy behind him goes quicker. Looks like Maxime B is behind him. A new reserve this week, looking to hopefully partake in future seasons. Keeping it nice and tidy, down to second here. Using as many gears as possible to bite in on the corner now. Short shifting up to second here, coming through the final corner. As Henders goes fastest with a 108.7. This guy's been on the track for a while now. That's going to be a hard time to beat. We have only used my dad with a 109.4, it looks like. So we'll see what Custom can do as he comes up to the line with Maxime B just behind him. Using all the track here, goes 109.8. Here comes Maxime though with a 109.1. So Henders pretty comfortable up top there. So we have Skyward Atlas crossing the line going on 109.9, and the Mercedes of Mech Senna coming up to the line as well. We'll see what he can do. Definitely one to contend. He goes 109.1 for P2, so he just edges out Maxime B by a couple milliseconds there. Lap got up to the line, 14.0 there. Ozone Chimera doing a 10. We'll see what tires are on. Ozone, of course, on those medium tires. The Ferrari of Tiger starting his flying lap. We got the McLaren of Striffin going P5 with a 109.8 there. Not too bad. His teammate, of course, BTFU, the championship winner already. He secured that. Unable to make it tonight due to PC issues. But we have Henders securing that P2. Our battle for P3, though, we'll show you the standings here after qualifying, is very much heating up. Anyone in the top 10 has a chance at P3 in the championship with only 2 races to go. So it's all to play for here. Many drivers have the chance to come home with some nice silverware. Looks like most people have set their lap now, their first lap. Any ones to watch this race, Jeb, that we haven't seen so far?
We've seen Remicron, of course. He's been a very high qualifier in the past. Actually, he's just gone P5. Of course, you know, championship leader BTFU is usually the highest, usually on pole. But of course, you know, he's had PC issues. He can't make it tonight. So I think we could be seeing a battle for pole between Henders and maybe Custom and Remicron, but I'm not quite sure of the pace around here in Brazil. One to watch could be the new reserve Maxime. I've raced with him in other leagues and he is rapid. He is up there, so it should be interesting to see what kind of pace he manages to pull out in the Brazilian circuit here.
Definitely, yeah. It looks like so yeah, Remicron went P5 there, and Tiger Racing with P6 on those mediums as well. So Tiger is looking pretty solid here. Mech Senna with a solid lap. We can see if they can get into the low 108s. Hender's setting the benchmark though right now with a 108.7. PCD1, I believe they got into the high 107s as well as an Xbox D1. So we'll see how they can compare. Looks like no one's on a flyer at the moment. Tiger could be on his second mediums lap, as we know he likes to set multiple laps on the same tire in quali just to set a few bankers in. Right now we have some drivers hopping out back into the pits. Eduardo Andretti diving into the pits as well. Max Toto pick yet to set a lap. Of course, racer 33 with a qualifying ban, so he will not be taking to the track. Hopefully he remembers to load that setup. Max Toto pick setting a purple middle sector, but of course we have no idea if that's really true. Throw on that lap data so we can see just how they're doing in their lap. Comes up to the line. He goes P4 with a 109.4, so he just edges out his Racing Point teammate by 0.02 of a second. Very close there between those two teammates. We'll see how they get along in the race. Looks like someone spun out down there. Looks like Skyward Atlas on his outlap has spun, possibly invalidating it. I'm not sure where the line ends there. Looks like Henners is indeed on a flyer. And he is already invalidated, so that'll be his lap over. Maybe saving up to go again next time. Someone else has spun as well. It looks like it is indeed Only Use My Dad, who's had a bit of a break, but he's back now. And seems to have spun in the middle sector. Gets back on track. Nice and safe. Of course, our reserve tonight, Maxime V, new face here, as well as Lap God. We'll see how they can fare up against these drivers. Looks like Only Use My Dad is diving to the pits indeed, so he will not start the lap. He may have damaged his wing there. We'll see what Henners does. As he comes to the line, looks like he's starting his new flying lap now after invalidating. But it does look like Mexena will be finishing his lap. We'll see if he can improve. He goes 108.8, so just a tenth still off Henners. Unable to catch the pole sitter at the moment, but definitely a great improvement there of about 3/10 to hop back up closer to the pole position. You see Skyward Atlas starting his flying lap now. Both the Renner drivers on their flyers as well. Looks like Lap God will be next up the line. He has a 1:14.0 at the moment, but he has invalidated this lap, unfortunately. We'll be going around, looks like another time. Looks like Camara is getting a little tow now from Tiger Racing. Little teammate helping each other out now. All the way up to the line he goes. We'll see what he can do. He goes P4. Purple sector 3, of course, with that tow with a 109.3. As Henners goes fastest with a 108.4, so improves by 3/10 there. Extending that gap to 4/10 down to P2. Great lap there by him. We have Romicron up the line as well. He goes P3 with a 108.9, so just a tenth off his teammate. We've got Maxime B, though, looking to improve. Comes up to the line. What can he do? Improves by just, seems 0.02 of a second, so not enough to move any higher up the standings. Stays P4 for the moment. Mercedes 2-3 cannot close in on Henners, who's just a huge gap now ahead in P1. We'll see what they can do for the third lap. 7 minutes left, of course, as this track is very short, so drivers can get plenty of laps on. Like Lap God up to the line. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say Lap God's coming up to the line, but he said at 1 minute 10.2, not quite enough to get him up there into the midfield, so he'll be diving back into the pits now, fitting a new set of softs and hoping to go out when the track's rubbered up, trying to fight his way up the rankings.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do there. Got a couple tenths to improve to try and crack into that top 10. We've got Custom now coming up to the line. and he will dive into the pits. Looks like Strifium, though, is on a flyer. Now he'll dive into the pits as well. We do have the Renault. Maxine B up to the line. Looks like he was going again. Kermit looking to improve. No, he'll dive into the pits. Plenty of drivers hopping back in. We've got 6 minutes left now. We'll see who's on track. Only Use My Dad has invalidated, so you'll have to go around another time to try and set a lap. It's like Tiger Racing's cruising along on a flyer at the moment. We'll see if this is a real flyer or simply just another banker. So he's set 2 laps now on those mediums. Of course, we can see Racer 33 starting in P15. We know he has the pace to possibly... Oh, Tiger Racing goes P9 with a 109.5 on the medium, so he improves. And I hope he doesn't start on that tire, because 3-lap-old mediums in the top 10 might not be the best strategy. We'll see, though. He always has a trick up his sleeve and manages to gain plenty of positions throughout the race. I'm pretty sure he probably has the biggest net gain positions in a race. As Maxime B is up to the line, he goes P2 with a 108.72. So tops both those Mercedes that were in front of him. Beats out Senna by just under a tenth there. Still 0.3 off of Henners. So Henners is pretty comfortable out there. Still has time to go out and set yet another lap to try and extend that gap. Maxime seems to be charging now. Great job for his debut so far in PPR. Looks like Tiger Racing surely will pit now after being out on the track for quite some time. As I was saying, Racer 33, one to watch, as he's usually up in the top 5, definitely gunning for that P3 in the championship. So he'll be looking to make moves quick off the back. For now, it looks like not too many are on track on flyers. This Mex Toto pick is looking to improve on his time. Mex Senna is out yet again. So we got 4 minutes left, so drivers should be hopefully diving back into the pits to swap out their tires for another last run. Here comes Toto pick up to the line. Can he improve on his 109.4? He can. He goes 109.1. Goes P5 there. Mex Senna goes P2 now with a 108.6, so he improves and jumps back on Maxime there. Gets the edge now, and Maxime is split between both Mercedes. So Senna up into P2 at the moment. We'll see Eduardo Andretti as he comes up to the line, as he has invalidated his lap, so he'll back off there. Looks like the Williams of Henners is slowly making his way out. Looks like Only Use My Dad is on his outlap as well. Looks like Skyward Atlas is next up to the line. He'll look to improve. Only a couple tenths now split most of our field, so any improvement here could be drastic in your position for the start of this race. Big train forming in the end of Sector 2 there, you can see on the map, but here comes Skyward Atlas looking to crack further into that top 7. Does not improve his position, will stay the same at the moment. Some drivers starting their lap now. Looks like Romicron charging towards the line, looking to see what he can do. Up to the line he comes. Stays the same there. Looks like he improved by 1 millisecond. Next up to the line, though, it looks like it's going to be Only Use My Dad, who has invalidated yet again, so he should be saving ERS for another lap. We'll see, unless he's trying to hop back in the pits for some new tires. We will find out shortly. Meanwhile, our current pole sitter on a flyer. No, he looks to have backed off now. We're setting up for another lap. Yet again, looks like we have a yellow flag. Maxime's just getting out the way, it seems. 1 minute, 58 seconds left in this qualifying session. Henners will be starting his final lap now. And we'll see what kind of times he can throw up. Looks like Skyward Atlas is diving into the pits, so he'll back off. Strifium on his outlap, starting his flyer as well. We'll see if anyone is cruising on their final lap here. Looks like most are starting their outlap. As our Micon dips into the pits, Lap God possibly coming up to the line. We'll see if he can improve his 110. Does not. He's set 4 laps now on those softs. They are taking a beating. Surely he's just getting a warm-up now. But the Ferrari of Tiger Racing has completely pulled over. Looks like he's trying to give his teammate a tow. Not entirely sure. Maybe waiting too long now as Eduardo Andretti is starting his flying lap too. Ozone Chimera. 1/10 down on his time currently. We'll see what he can do as he's coming along. Right behind him looks to be Custom, who may get a tow at this point. Oh, as he dives into the pits. We'll see what Custom can do though as he comes up to the line. Sorry, that was Henners, and Henners is diving into the pits. Custom has invalidated, so he'll be starting a fresh lap now. Maxime B, one to watch as Henners is retired, so he's not going to improve. We'll see what Maxime can do, though. Stays the same with a 1:08.7, but is starting a new flying lap now. Kermit starting another flying lap as well. We got 4 seconds left in this session. So all laps are final as Mexena has finished. Eduardo Andretti diving into the pit. Strifium next up to the line. He'll look to see if he can crack into that top 10. Goes purple middle sector there. He's down a 10th on his time. Definitely going to improve here. See if he can jump Kermit in that P10 position. Maxime B still has a chance. He'll stay the same just off of Kermit, so Strifium down in P11. Maxime B round the final corner with his Renault teammate just behind. Custom and Maxime look to be the only ones that could possibly take back pole here. Maxime comes up to the line. Does not improve and will stay P3. Looks like Kermit has abandoned his lap as well as Custom. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Henners on pole with Senna in P2 and Maxime B in P3. Solid debut qualifying for Maxime here. Wouldn't you say so, Jeb?
Definitely, I think he's definitely got the pace here to succeed, especially in Brazil. It's a short and technical track, so you're definitely going to have to be on your guard on the straights. You're going to have to defend well into the slow corners, and of course you've got the second sector, which is a lot of long sweeping bends. So there'll be a lot of overtakes there, and I think Maxime will be hoping to defend his position well going into the first lap of the race.
Definitely, yeah, not a bad place to start at all. Looks like the Mercedes, Mexena, and Romicron starting on the first and second row. So they're looking good. Toto Wolff must be pleased. Just edged out by pole, though. Henner's pretty commanding here. We'll see how he can do off the start. So, of course, yeah, Henner's in that Williams in P1. Mexena starting second. Maxime third. Romicron fourth. Mex Toto pick in fifth. Ozone Chimera in P6. Skyward Atlas P7. Only Use My Dad in P8. Tiger Racing in P9. On those mediums, those are some pretty old mediums, so we'll see how he fares his strategy. Kermit P10. Strifium 11 with that free tire choice. Custom P12. Lap God P13. Eduardo P14. And Racer 33 with that quali band will be starting at the back of the grid. So he'll have open strategy. We'll see what weather plays in. And we're going to go ahead and bring up our standings so we can see just what the grid looks like. So, of course, BTFU is not here. He's secured that championship. He's in P1 at the moment. Henners secures P2. He will not be able to get P1. He will not be able to drop to P3. But after that, we've got Doth Thou Hoist with 88 points, who's not going to be here, so he's got no chance at the moment of possibly holding his position. We've got Tiger Racing in P4 with 83 points. Racer 33 in P5 with 79. Custom in P6 with 77. Chimera in P7 with 72. Strifium in P8 with 67. Kermit in P9 with 64. And Only Use My Dad P10 with 63. So literally, if they came home with a decent amount of points today, especially with BTFU not being here to basically secure that win, they have the chance of almost securing that P3. So we'll see how it plays out. Tiger Racing, definitely one to watch. Race 33, trying to make his way up through the field. Custom, starting a bit lower the past couple weeks. I'm not sure what's going on with his pace, but we've definitely seen him at the top, so we'll see if he can improve there. Strifium, definitely one to make up places. Takes all the opportunities he can. And Only Use My Dad has been absent for a while. He has some good pace, so we'll see how he can make his way up through the field. Who have you got, Jeb, to try and secure P3 these next 2 races?
Well, as you said, it's anyone's game. We're going into the last 2 races of the calendar, Brazil and Abu Dhabi. Both of these tracks, you know, they favor a ready mind and a focused mindset, so you've really got to put your head down. I think Tiger Racing and Racer 33 are definitely going to be contending for that spot, especially that Doth Thou Hoist, is absent. So they'll be looking to make up as much ground as they possibly can. But there's clouds in the sky, so rain could play a factor in this race, and by extension, the battle for P3.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that in some of our previous races in PPR along our Xbox and PC divisions, where rain has played a big factor. Also, safety cars. We had in, I believe, our Xbox Division 1, 3 safety cars in the first 10 laps, and so the AMG car led the most amount of laps for the first half of that race. So we'll see how it plays out here. Strategy is very hard to plan in this game, as many things to go wrong. So we'll see how the drivers can react to that. At the moment, we'll throw up the tire data, though, so you can just see who's starting on what. Tiger on those mediums, of course. Strifium and Custom on those fresh mediums in P11 and P12. So here we have it now. Lights turning on. Lights out, and they're underway. Senna looks to have a decent start. Maxime already up into P2 with a solid start there as they come into turn 1, looking pretty clean throughout so far. Chimera up into P5 now. The Racing Points battling it out. Looks like Lapgod has dropped back now. Pretty close battle now for P4 as, oh my goodness, as Chimera and Romicron have touch, and they made contact, it seems. And they've spun. It looks like Romicron and Chimera have made contact. Not entirely sure what happened there. Safety car is out. There's no retirements, though. Only Use My Dad up to P4. Eduardo Andretti gets a 5-second time penalty. Not exactly sure what happened. Did you see that, Jeb?
It was decent, plain and simple. Romicron's car sort of disappeared in the middle of the straight and then rematerialized in the front wing of Chimera's car. So we had no idea what was happening. And unfortunately, you know, that's taken both of their races out of their hands. So really unfortunate, you know, that the internet has played a role in this one, but hopefully they can claw their way back through the field.
Yeah, we know Romicron has great pace, so sad to see him back there. He has absolutely no wing at the moment. Trying to get a better look of Ozone Chimera. He seems to have a decent amount of his wing, so should be okay. We'll see who decides to possibly pit now. We'll see also what kind of gains people have made. Looks like Only Use My Dad up 4 places now. Race 33. Like I said, one to watch. He started last. He's already up to P9. Mex Toto Pick will indeed pit. So we'll see what tires they go on. As well as Kermit, Eduardo, Romicron, and Chimera does decide to pit, so he may be getting a wing change. Meanwhile, Henders is out there in front. Maxime B making up a position to P2 now, dropping Mexena to P3. Not a great start for Mercedes. One driver down to last place while Mexena dropped to P3. Only Use My Dad up to P4, of course. Strifium up to P6 as well from P11. Nice job by him. He's on those medium tires, so he'll be definitely looking to execute his strategy and gain even more places throughout this race. Looks Looks like Toto Pick and Eduardo have opted, as for hards, as we have Tiger and Strifium swapping positions. It looks like they're all good though. So they'll be looking to go to the end on those hard tires, I'm sure, which could be a gamble as the pace is not as quick as the mediums or softs. So we'll see how they do. Of course, I'm sure there could be more safety cars and more VSCs. The amount of times I've seen that Mercedes AMG lead this race this week has been too dang high. So right now, only use my dad in great position to try and challenge for that P3 in the championship position. Strifium, of course, could come away with some great points as well. I wish I had a program that could live update the standings for P3 as this race went on, but of course, I don't have that much time in my life, so can't bring that for you. We'll just have to do some quick maths in our head and see how it goes. Clouds still looming over this track. Not sure what kind of weather will come. We weren't alerted, I believe, in the lobby. Other than that, ghosting incident with Romicron and Chimera, a pretty clean getaway for most of our drivers, it seems. Got away through turn 1 and 3. We had a couple 3 wide, but at the moment, everyone's looking pretty saucy so far. Safety car surely should be in now, as the pack has been bunched up for quite a while now, as we cruise into Sector 3. We'll see how Henners decides to play the start a very, very long straight. He could opt to go right away, as the safety car is indeed in this lap. Henners backing up the field now, getting nice and tight. Strifium holding up a little bit. He's dropped back 2 seconds now to Skyward Atlas, as Henners is slowing down great amount now. He could inch his way to the line. He's allowed to, as long as he doesn't drastically accelerate or brake. And he's underway. He pulls away now. Gets a nice start ahead. Looks like the Mercedes of Mech Senna is under pressure now from Only Use My Dad, as he goes to the outside now. Mercedes on the inside defensive as they go through turn 1 side by side. Mech Senna doing a good job of staying ahead now. Here comes Strifium up the inside. He's spun though, trying to make that move, but he manages to keep it out of the wall. He'll just come back on track slowly now. Looks like Mech's Toto Pick has dropped as well. Meanwhile, Only Use My Dad drops back. Sorry, does not get the move done on Mech Senna. Tiger Racing on the charge now, as he's up into P6 after that mishap though with Strifium. He'll drop back to P14. Hopefully no wing damage for him. Pretty solid restart there from Henners.
Yep, just unfortunate for Strifium. He was trying to go down the inside of, I didn't quite catch who it was, but I was spectating on Tiger's onboard cam, and he tried to go down the inside for a gap that quite simply just didn't exist, and unfortunately he was punted into the infield. Luckily, you know, he managed to save it from getting into the wall. It was a low-speed contact, so there wasn't any serious damage from the contact, but of course he's lost a lot of time now, and the safety car's just ended, so he's got no sort of
safety car is indeed out now because of Mech's Toto Pick, who did indeed spin, lose his wing. No retirements from 2 safety cars now. So safety car is very trigger happy today. Mech's Toto Pick will dive into the pits now. So his chances could be resolved yet again. We'll see who pits.
Yeah, it's not looking good, unfortunately, for Tiger Racing and Custom on the mediums, because of course their one great advantage under safety car is the fact that they are able to pull a gap away from the soft runners as soon as the tires go off. But of course, the soft runners aren't losing as much tire degradation and are able to pull it for longer. So it's really unfortunate for them on older mediums that they are sort of stuck in the mire of cars that are faster than they really should be.
Exactly, yeah. Their strategy is to have the soft runners degrade as soon as possible so they can extend that lead and build that gap and come back quickly in the end. But it looks like right now that that difference won't be as effective due to these two safety cars right off the bat. It looks like our grid is almost backed up. Of course, Max Toto pick having to change that wing. No one opting to box though this time, it seems, apart from that racing point down to P15. Race at 33 down to P13 now. Unfortunately, not sure what happened there. He was having a good start. We'll see if he can make up some more positions as we go along.
Oh, Struffium's gone off again. Yep, there was contact there at turn 1. I'm not sure who instigated that, but there was a bit of ghosting and desync, and Struffium unfortunately got a bit T-boned and spun. I'm not sure whether he's got wing damage, but I'll just check now.
He's got some on his front left, so no front left end plate there. He's trying to get back into his position, it looks like. Not sure exactly what happened. That's unfortunate for the McLaren driver.
Yep.
He seems like he's trying to get back to his spot. Surely.
It's unfortunate that there have been as many problems as there have been for him this early in the race.
Yeah, it's not gone well. He had a good start off the bat, but after these couple safety cars, it's not looking great for the McLaren driver. Of course, still plenty of laps left here. We got 30 to go here in Brazil. Safety car should be in this lap, so that's not a great look for Struffium, as he'll probably have to box for a new wing, unless he decides to stay out and tries to manage that damage. Safety car is indeed in this lap, and we'll hop on with Henners to see how he decides to start this time. He's backing the field up again, nice and slow. Maxime trying to get a great jump on him this time. Very hard to time it right, though. We'll see if we stay on board with Maxime. And there goes Henners. Maxime able to react, but not quick enough. Looks like behind him, we've got Max Senna getting away nice and smooth. Looks like the Ferrari's going side by side now with Custom. Oh, as they've touched, possibly made contact. They've spun around. Only use my dad down to P14. Not sure what happened there. Camara getting involved in the contact as well. Lap got up to P6 after that restart. Not sure who initiated that. We got 3 wide now, almost into this turn. Here comes Skyward Atlas up on Lap God. They're side by side now. Eduardo Andretti around the outside up to P7 now. It's like Camara and Romicron going at it yet again. We've seen them make contact earlier in the race. These guys are battling hard now as Max Toto Pick tries to come up around the outside. He's doing a good job from starting last after the safety car restart. A lot of chaos here on this safety car restart. Side by side goes Only Use My Dad and Kermit. Only Use My Dad, of course, starting P4 after this safety car restart, has dropped back all the way to P12. They look to make some moves. Right now, though, as we have Tiger Racing on the back of Custom, it's Henners that's the fastest lap of the race. He's pulled out a second gap now. We've got a very tense battle as Lap God dives into the pits. The Racing Point's going at it as Max Toto Pick goes defensive. Outside goes Only Use My Dad. As he gets very close to Ozone Camara there. But he slots in behind, keeps it clean. We'll see what kind of run he can get out of this corner. Here comes Max Toto Pick on Ozone Camara. Looks up the inside. We'll back off and not make anything happen of it. Here comes Tiger Racing. They'll look on the inside of Custom. to go side by side through the fast right-hander. They're touching wheels now as Tiger gets up ahead of Custom. Custom not giving up, but will back and tuck in behind Tiger Racing. Tiger Racing getting a solid move done there through that fast right-hander. Romicron trying to get around Eduardo Andretti now. It seems to only use my dad has gotten ahead of his Racing Point teammate. Oh my goodness, as we're on board with Toto Pickens, he's spun coming out of the final corner. That curb is very slippery. He gets reset to track because the track limits there automatically reset you, so there will be no inquiry with the stewards there. That happened to a few of our races before. Hender's, meanwhile, 1.9 seconds ahead, setting the fastest lap of the race. We've got some battles, though, between Eduardo, Romicron, and Camara. As Mex has retired from the session, he dives in the pits. His race is over. He's had no luck whatsoever so far. Here comes Camara, though, on the Haas of Eduardo Andretti. Up the inside, he goes on those softer compound tires. Goes very deep, gets the move done. Here comes Only Use My Dad following him just through as well. Only Use My Dad back up into P9 now. Trying to make up places and get back up into the top 5 where he started before this whole safety car mishap. Striffium seemed to have pit from that safety car, so he's down in P13. Only Use My Dad doing everything he can to try and get around.
Few drops of rain now coming down onto the course, and that doesn't bode well for the hard runners. You know, they've just switched onto the hard compound, and it looks like it could be wet tire weather soon. So, that's some dreadful luck, but you can't say we didn't know it was coming. Those clouds loomed everywhere from the start of qualifying, so it'll be interesting to see how serious the rain gets as the race goes on.
Definitely, yeah. Drops are definitely not what some of these drivers want to see right now, as this race has been chaotic already, or rain will surely spice it up. I'm sure the medium runners will be hoping the rain doesn't come too soon, so these soft runners have to pit for some new tires. At the moment, Henders has been doing a good job of commanding this race in P1. He's 2.5 seconds ahead, hoping to edge out the gap. Tiger Racing up in P4 now, though, looking to make it work with that medium strategy. Surprised some of these drivers opted for the hard tire if they knew the rain was coming, but of course, maybe they didn't. Maybe Jeff gave them a wrong indication of the weather report. As we've known, it has happened many times before. But here we got Only Use My Dad closing in now on Ozone Camara. He's got the DRS as well. Camara does not. So we'll see how he approaches this corner. He'll back off a little bit too far back now. This rain could be starting to play a factor very soon. Still not wet enough at all to change tires from the slicks to the wets. Only Use My Dad unable to make anything happen. He's on 10-lap old softs now. Those could be starting to fall off. As we see Camara and Only Use My Dad closing in on Skyward Atlas in P7 there. Here comes Camara up the inside, getting a little tap there. Camara leaving that door a little bit open, just enough for the Racing Point to get through. A little bit of oversteer, there's a yellow flag. Not sure what for exactly. Could be Lap God just rounding the first couple corners now. Oh, as Camara gets a little shifty there out of the corner, and Only Use My Dad will say thank you very much. Takes that position, gets up into P8. Ozone down to P9. We'll see if Only Use My Dad gets that DRS. He does, so he'll close in on Skyward Atlas now. Track still too dry for any kind of wet tires at the moment. We got Mech Senna, though, closing in on Maxime B for P2. Will not make a move. Kermit and Eduardo Andretti going at it, it seems. Kermit gets ahead. Nice and easy. Romicron, though, up the inside of Custom. Goes very deep, though. Custom will have the better exit on the switchback now. Goes to the outside. Romicron leaving him room. Romicron staying ahead. Looks like Skyward Atlas has been passed by both Only Use My Dad and Ozone Chimera, as Dad gets a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, there was contact there. Dad sort of made a dive bomb, and I think Skyward Atlas just about closed the door, didn't really know he was there, and then went wide to let him through, and only used my dad said, "Thank you very much," and tapped him to say good luck. And unfortunately, that's allowed Chimera to get through as well, so it's not, a bad pass per se, but a little aggressive for someone who's wanting to climb up the ranks, so.
Definitely, yeah. Max Senna here just on the back of Maxime B. He's got that DRS still. DRS is still enabled. Of course, when that gets disabled, that's a sure sign that you should pit for inters. But he's unable to make the move. He's just tucking in behind, doing a good job of staying with him. Meanwhile, Henner's out ahead, 3.4 seconds. Only Use My Dad with a big gap to Custom now. Custom doing a good job. Remicron doing a great job also making positions back up after starting, I believe, in P4 and dropping down to last place. He's back up to P5 now, so good on him. He's looking to make some moves yet again. Tiger Racing, though, in P4. He's looking very comfortable on those mediums. Surely they'll last till this rain. Although the rain hasn't come very hard, it's still sprinkling very lightly. So it may line up and we may never need inters at all, which could also favor the medium runners as well. Race 33, though, going up the inside of Eduardo Andretti. He's looking to make up some positions as well on those hard tires. He could be going to the end here if he can keep up the pace. All of our drivers fairly spaced out now. Max Senna has dropped back a bit from Maxime on this last lap. Quite a lot, actually. Take a look at our current race leader, Henners, who's won P2 in this championship. It looks like the rain is coming down a bit harder now, but of course still not enough. I sure hope we can see just a bit more rain to spice things up. Looks like Only My Dad has caught the back of Custom now, as he's on 13-lap old softs and Custom on these 13-lap old mediums. As he surely will get DRS now, as it's still enabled by the stewards. Or race control, sorry. Wrong division there. Leaves my dad with that DRS, but of course you can see there the yellow bar is almost out, so he has barely any ERS to catch him. So he will not make the move this time around, but of course he has this next zone coming up. He's right behind him. There's a yellow flag. Looks like Eduardo Andretti has gone off on the final corner. He's spun around. A very slippery place on this track. Back on board with Only Use My Dad. Not able to make the move happen. Race 33 gets a 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane, and he has retired from this session. Not exactly sure why, as this race completely wasn't over yet. There's plenty more to come. Oh, as Custom loses it there, has to dive back on the track, rejoins, but Only Use My Dad gets ahead. He lost control in the fast right-hander there. It is definitely getting slippery now, as we can see our drivers suffering from grip due to tire wear and some water starting to stick to the ground now. Very unfortunate for race 33. Really not entirely sure what happened there. Battle for P6 is definitely on. Only Use My Dad, though, trying to pull away and catch Tiger Racing now on those 15-lap old soft. These guys are really hoping it rains harder for the soft runners, because they're extending these softs quite a lot now.
Yep, Tiger Racing lost the position to Remicron They were very close, of course, going into the corner just after the straight, so that, you know, the fastest braking zone on the track. I'm not sure whether there was a cheeky flick of the back for Remicron, but Tiger lost it over the curb, and Remicron, you know, he snuck past through the inside, so it was a job well done for him. Unfortunately, according to the Discord, I think Racer33 has had some more connection issues, so unfortunate for him. But that's how luck goes.
Very unfortunate. We know he started off with a decent season, and then unfortunately it got worse and worse for him. The luck did not bode well for him. As Mexena has said, I've had enough of these softs. He's pitting. I don't think he thinks it's ever going to get any drier. He'll put the mediums on, so he thinks it'll dry up now. Could be a bold strategy. And he could see our leaders start to pit now, as he may have started a train and a trend of some sort. We'll see what Henners and Maxime try to do next lap. He's come out in P9 now, just behind Kermit on those 15-lap-old softs, so surely he'll pass him. Skyward Atlas on the inters, going for the gamble, although it doesn't look that wet yet, so I don't know. Pretty sure he'll be much slower at the moment. As here comes Stryfium on the hards. Very far down. Sky coming out in P12 on those inters. We'll see how he fares against Stryfium on those hard tires. If you can keep with him, it may be time to change over. If not, Maxime gets a 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. So our leader and P2 hop into the pit lane. We'll see what kind of tires they put on. Looks like Maxime is going for the mediums according to the game. See what Henners does. He's on the mediums as well, so going for the safe strategy now, as Remicron inherits P1 now. Only my dad on 17-lap-old softs. He's done an amazing job so far. Starting in P9, dropping down at last place almost, and making his way back up to P3. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Looks like maybe a bit Eduardo Andretti just hopping out the way, or possibly sliding on that last exit. The Williams, though, are very close, as Henners is just behind Custom. Wonder if we got team orders, as they are on different strategies at the moment. Camara looking to make a move as Custom goes wide. He's just slowing up Henners huge amount now. Very beneficial for Remicron. Only use my dad. And Tiger Racing as well. Custom not giving up that position easily at all. Making him work for it. Oh, as he almost slides out. Almost takes himself out and possibly his teammate. But here comes Camara. One of these guys might pit now. No, they'll both stay out. Camara looking for the move on Custom, as Henners has that DRS as well. Into turn 1 they go. Side by side. Custom will stay ahead. Henners gets ahead, but loses a large amount of time there. Slowing him up. Maxine, though, has dropped back quite a bit from the leader, as Senna has dropped back 1.5 seconds, so they pit on alternate laps. As Eduardo Andretti has also gone onto the inters. I just don't believe there's enough water, although it seems the tires are giving a bit of spray now. This Custom's doing a good job of staying with Henners at the moment on 18-lap-old tires compared to 1-lap-old tires. I believe Maxime has a 5-second time penalty as well from speeding in the pit lane, so that will be added at the end of the race unless he decides to pit.
The rain looks like it's going to stay as it is for now, and Chimera almost spinning there, but you know, I think the rain is going to stay as is, just gradually getting worse. Oh wow, they're all pitting now. I think that has just invalidated everything I was going to say. I think they're coming in for the inters.
The rain seems to be coming down harder now, as only my dad gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Looks like he'll be holding that stop yet again, so he may have had 2 5-second time penalties. So he makes his way out the pits now. This could be great for Romicron and Tiger Racing and Maxime. Or Maxime will have to go again. But Romicron and Tiger Racing are loving this. The leaders having to make a couple stops now. It's just wet enough now. But they have to change to inters, it seems. I assume Jeff gave them the call. You know it's going to be a spicy race when half the field is on dries and half the field is on inters. Looks like the delta is just about even at the moment. Not sure what is what. Hender's 14 seconds back from Mexena, so we'll see what kind of pace he can control as he tries to close in on him. Right now, it seems like he's dropping back, so Senna may have the optimal tire at the moment. As Maxime does dive into the pits and gets another 5-second time penalty for speeding the pit lane. Romicron's staying out though. He thinks the dries are the best bet, and I, at the moment, think so too.
Yeah, I think the inters might come into play in 3 or 4 laps time, but of course 3 or 4 laps time is not right now, so the inters guys will be struggling on pace a little bit, hoping it sort of knocks them into their element. And unfortunately, Stryfium gets the hard end of the stick here. He's a pit stop and a half behind the next stint of cars who have just come out, and he's going to have to change into inters as well. So I think his race is a bit over. But Tiger Racing and Romicron strategy masterclass here. You know, they've kept up the perseverance with the older tires, and it's paid off for them. They are 1-2 in this race right now, and the strategy looks to be unfolding in their favor.
Of course, what looks to be unfolding in their favor now could drastically change, as we've seen the strategy change almost every lap throughout this race. Ozone Camaro on the back of Only Use My Dad, who is on those fresh mediums. It looks like the dry, slick compound tires are starting to struggle. See, it's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Not sure exactly what that was for. As these two look to be pretty similar on pace now. And I believe Mexena made a mistake coming out of the final corner, so he's lost heaps of time to Henners. Henners is closing in on Mexena now. Because Romicron basically has a free pit stop at the moment, so he's hoping it dries up right away. Camara unable to make the move on Only Use My Dad, so we can see these tires are pretty equal at the moment. Very hard to distinguish what the correct tire is. So if yellow flag, looks like Lap God has gone round. He's adhering to blue flags. Hopefully he doesn't get a time penalty here for cutting corners. Here comes Only Use My Dad, trying to get around him as well. Lap God doing a great job of getting out the way. It's not going his way for his debut PPR race, but at least he's adhering to the rules, and we love to see that. Clean drivers are respectful drivers.
Yep, as the rain comes down further, the guys on dries are going to be wanting to stay away from the curbs. Of course, most of Interlagos' curbs are steeped at an angle, so the rain is going to be collecting there, and if you touch that,
here comes Camara up the inside of Only Use My Dad. They're side by side through T1. Camara gets it done. Henners gets a 3-second time penalty, though. That'll be crucial for his race-winning chances. Camara gets the job done, so we'll show up just exactly what kind of times we're doing here. The rain seems to be coming down a bit harder now, which definitely could favor the Inter's runners to the end of the race. But as I say that, it's been doing this same amount for the past 7-8 laps or so, and not much has changed. Based on Henner's and Kamara's pace, it seems the Inters are officially faster now as they're closing in on the dry top 3. Of course, that could also just be tire wear, as Tiger's 23 lap old. Oh my, 23 lap old mediums. We'll see what we can do. Striffium coming out now. Looks to be a back marker. So hopefully he'll get out the way nice and easy. Striffium and Eduardo Andretti fighting for position as here comes Tiger Racing trying to make a move. Definitely hindering his chances at a podium here. Striffium got a time penalty there. I'm not sure how, as I saw him just driving away. Could be a blue flag warning. But again, I only use my dad, staying with Kamara as DRS still is enabled. He's making these mediums work. They're 4 laps old.
Oh, and Tiger Racing's gone around. Oh dear. That's not gone well. He's gone round at the final corner there, and Mick Sinner is going to capitalize on that. That's P3 for Tiger, and that's not gone well.
P4 now for Tiger. Yeah, that brutal last corner. He's dropped plenty of places now. Looks like he'll be diving to the pits. I think he may believe that it's time for Inters, although it doesn't look that wet out there right now, so he could possibly opt for the softs to the end at the moment. We'll see what he decides. If I were him, I think I'd go to the softs. He's going to the Inters. But what do I know, because this race has been absolute chaos in terms of strategy. Romicron still cruising out there on the mediums. He's 21 seconds ahead of his teammate, and Mercedes 1-2 at the moment. It's looking pretty solid for these drivers. As Custom opts for the strategy I've mentioned before, he goes on the softs now. He's hoping for this rain to die off. Hopefully Jeff is relaying some important information.
Yep, Striffium opting for the same strategy as well. Softs, time will tell whether the rain gets better or worse, but they're going to want to be very careful. As you can see from Striffium's on board, he's oversteering a little, of course. He's having a bit of trouble with the exits of corners in this rain, so hopefully for them it'll dry up and he'll be able to gain a bit of confidence back in the car.
Yeah, it could be a great adventure for him if it decides to dry up, but these clouds are still lurking at the moment. We've got Henners, though, on Mech Center, right on the back now. This is the battle at the moment. Dries versus Inters, who will win? Inters are looking pretty strong at the moment. As Maxime gets another 3-second time penalty, so time penalties are going to be crucial here for the final standings, it seems. Unless Romicron wins by 20 seconds. Henner's trying to make some kind of move on Senna as he's being held up now and losing time to P1. This battling for P2 at the moment is helping Kamara close up that gap and get closer to these drivers.
Hinder's not quite able to capitalize on the pace he needs to take Senna. And of course, Chimera, who's I think a bit more dialed into the driving on these Inters, is rapidly catching now as Senna, you know, he's doing a magnificent job of defending on those dry tires. I think the dry tires are starting to drop below the wet in pace now, so that should create an interesting scenario for a Micron, who is still on the mediums out in front.
Yeah, Macron done a stellar job so far, keeping the pace up, even with these semi-treacherous conditions. Henner's looking for a move, but will stay back, unable to do anything. There's a yellow flag. Not sure what that's for. Everyone seems to be on track okay.
think it was just Skyward Atlas letting a couple of cars through there.
So Jeb, if you're Romicron, what do you do in this situation? What are you praying for? What are you looking to do with your next pit stop?
Well, 21 seconds is a solid enough gap, and judging by the way the rain is looking now, I would not bank on doing the soft strategy, because I don't think the softs will have enough pace come race in to be a viable strategy. I think either he's going to do some sort of miracle and keep stretching the mediums, or he's going to go in, get the inters on and try and pull out. You know, he's got a 20.5 second gap. That's, I think, around 6 seconds off the average length of a pit stop here in Brazil. So he's definitely got the race in the palm of his hand, but this strategy is going to make or break his race.
Definitely, yeah. You can see he would be hoping for a drastic change in weather, because at the moment it's this subtle rain. It's just been very annoying for a strategist at the moment. But here comes Henners. Finally gets the pace up the inside of Senna. He goes, gets the move done. Goes a little bit wide there. We'll see if Senna has anything to counter with, but looks like Henners has that move done and dusted up into P2 now. Solid job by him. Senna looking to hold on those drier tires. Of course, I believe Henners does have one more penalty than Senna at the moment. So we'll see how that plays out in the end. See if Senna can keep up with Henners on those intermediates. The rain, of course, still just sprinkling down. Nothing too drastic. DRS is still enabled.
Romicron's still going past the pit entry. I think he's going to try and go to the end, although the wear on those mediums must be something horrific. That's 23 laps now.
That is a bit of a stretch, of course. Some of that under a bit of a safety car, but still. He's got 8 laps left to go. We'll see what we can do to manage it. Of course, he's hoping for it to dry up exponentially so that Henners behind him has to pit as well. That'll be his best bet. But right now, it's not looking that way. This battling, meanwhile, has allowed Camara to come within DRS zone of these drivers. Senna's still right on the back of Henners, so not losing too much time now. A very bizarre sight to see half of our field, almost every other driver, on a dry or wet tire, as nobody quite knows what the ultimate strategy is. It's all a guessing game at this point. This is what makes exciting races.
It looks like Chimera might just have the pace advantage here. Of course, Henners is defending, so he's going to be slower. Senna is trying to get past, so those two are going to be occupied battling. And I think it could be a prime opportunity if Chimera just gets that little bit closer for him to swoop past and into the battle for P2.
Next set is awfully close. Oh, as he lost it coming out of the corner, but he saves it. He'll lose plenty of time. Chimera will surely have this position now. They both have DRS, so we'll see if Senna can fight back. Ozone coming up along the outside, gets that move done nice and easy. We'll see if Senna dives up the inside, makes a late lunge, forces Chimera wide. He'll have the better exit on this corner now. All the meanwhile, Henners pulling ahead off in the distance. Senna will have the DRS, but seems to be too far back to make any kind of move. Goes very deep in this corner, just misses Chimera. And it looks like he's struggling on those 13-lap old mediums now. The inners seem to be slightly stronger here, slight advantage.
Yep, I think the time gain per lap is somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 4/10 to half a second faster on lap now. So Romicron is either A, going to have to try and stretch, or he's going to have to come in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, if I'm
Let's see what he
Romicron
does.
now, he's got plenty of ERS to spare. I would stay out. He's 20 seconds ahead of Henners. Not doing too shabby on those mediums. He's only got 6 laps left, 5 laps left now to get something done. Senna
Yeah, of course.
right back on Chimera now, looking to make a move. Chimera does have that DRS still from Henners. The battle for P2 is surely on now with 5 laps left to go. Does not get the move done in this corner though. Maxime has dropped into the pits now, possibly looking for fastest lap of the race. I'm not sure if he'll get it on 10-lap-old inners. Here comes Senna up the inside of Kamara. We'll have to back out, though, to avoid contact. Meanwhile, Romicron keeping that gap to P2 at 20 seconds pretty evenly, so he's pretty healthy there out in front. The battle now for P2 is surely on as here comes Senna around the outside of Kamara. He gets the move done. What a move by Senna there around the outside of the Ferrari driver. Looks like the track could be drying up. Who knows? It seems every lap it switches back and forth between medium and inters.
Yep, an excellent overtake there by Senna. And I think Henners is going to have some sweat under his collar. And Senna's gone for the over. He's done it. He has gone up the inside of Henners. I think Henners had a poor exit there from the corner. And Chimera is looking to capitalize as well as Henners dives into the pit, presumably to go on the dries. Although time will tell whether it was worth losing that track position for race pace.
Side by side now goes Only Is My Dad and Chimera. They're battling very close now as they're right on the back of Mech Senna. Only Is My Dad kind of hanging back and just joined this battle, looking to make a move. Henners with a very bold strategy of pitting now. Looks like the best he'll be able to do is maybe catch Chimera if those inners go off, but right now the medium runners are looking solid. Next Senna in P2 and Only Is My Dad in P3.
Further down the field, we have a little battle going on here between Custom, who has been on the medium soft, for 7 laps, and we've got Maxime, who is on 1 lap old softs, and there could be a little battle falling here. The track is definitely drying out, as evidenced by the decision from most drivers to switch to dries. Romicron is going to be thanking his lucky stars, and overall, I think this race is going to end as the finishing positions are now. I'm not sure if there will be any battles to take the lead, apart from Senna and Can Only Use My Dad, of course, who will be fighting for P2.
He's very close now. Only Use My Dad has a 3-lap advantage from those younger tires. That's not too much. As Chimera has decided to pit, he will not go 3 laps. He'll drop down. Henner's up to P4 now, looking to make moves. Make his way back up the field. We'll see what Kermit to do. Kermit up into P6 now. He's looking pretty solid out there. With a healthy gap, Maxime could be closing in now, his teammate. We'll see what happens. Kermit looking for a great points finish. He's very much in that battle for P3 in the championship. Tiger Racing does decide to pit, so Tiger Racing unfortunately making the mistake, the unknown mistake of pitting for those inters. Had he not, he may have kept that P2 position. But alas, Ferrari strategists are Ferrari strategists.
Yeah, very unfortunate for him. It's just not worked in his favor. And Eduardo Andretti, I think, letting cars through, has spun. Yep, he's gone Brazil's fastest lawnmower route. He's come off trying to let Kermit through and mowed the grass a bit.
Meanwhile, this has allowed Maxime to get right on the back of his teammate as they round the final corner. Custom getting a 3-second time penalty. We know Maxime has some time penalties, so Kermit could be looking good. He might just want to let him by to avoid slowing down. As he forces them wide, Maxime trying to go off the track around the outside. Kermit doing everything he can to make sure his teammate doesn't get past at the moment. Trying to hold on to P6. Maxime looks to go up the middle. Hard on the brakes. A bit of a lockup there from Kermit. Kermit doing a great job defending. Maxime coming back with the better exit now. Maxime surely has the move now. Has the DRS alongside the Renault side-by-side. Beautiful livery as Maxime gets the move done.
Yep, that's all she wrote for P6. Kermit just wanting to close up behind Maxime and run the rest of the race in a slipstream, of course, with a lot less penalties than Maxime does.
Definitely. Hopefully Kermit can stay in that slip, get the move done. We know Custom has some penalties too down in P8. See if he can make up some time on Kermit. Only Is My Dad unable to make anything happen though on Senna. And I believe Senna will have the move on time penalties as they both just get one, so that negates each other. but I believe Only My Dad still has more. As Henner sets the fastest lap of the race, so he'll get that extra point as it stands with an 11 flat. 14 seconds down from the podium at the moment, though, still. Barring any time penalties, so we will see what happens. Tiger Racing still on inters. Not sure exactly what Ferrari's doing there. He's struggling very much now. As Only My Dad is trying to make some kind of move happen. As there still seems to be some water on the track, so it's definitely not completely dry yet. Romicron, though, starting the final lap of the race. He's 16 seconds ahead. Healthy lap on 30 lap old mediums. Done a solid job so far. Only My Dad looks to be too far back yet again to make any kind of move happen. We'll check out the position change from our drivers. Only My Dad up 5 spots. Romicron up 3, starting P4. Had a solid strategy. Here comes Only My Dad, though. Up the inside as they're side by side. Senna trying to stay around the outside. They make a little bit of contact. He pushes him wide. Only My Dad gets a little shaky off the start. Coming back comes Senna on the final lap. He'll back off those. Only My Dad stays ahead. What a crazy sequence of events there. Almost both drivers took each other out. They kept it on track, though. We'll see if Senna can make some kind of move. He has barely any ERS left, which could be crucial for the race to the line. Round the final corner they come as Romicron crosses the line and wins the Brazilian Grand Prix for PC Division 2. But meanwhile, we've got a battle on our hands. Looks like Only My Dad has this locked for P2. We'll see what time penalties have to say as he crosses the line and drops to P3. Max Senna will get P2. It's a Mercedes 1-2 at Brazil. Here comes Henners coming up to the line. We'll see where he can finish with time penalties. P4 he goes. Surely that's his position solidified. Tiger Racing finishing out of the points in P11, unfortunately. Here comes Camara up to the line with Kermit and Maxime up to the line as well. We'll see if Kermit can gain any spots on penalties. He holds off Custom at the end. He jumps up to P6. Maxime sets the fastest lap of the race at the end. Snags that point from Henners. Oh my goodness, what a race. So many things happened. But Romicron is the winner of the Brazilian Grand Prix for PC Division 2.
Fantastic race. Absolutely brilliant. So many shifts in strategy and tires. You know, that was just incredible.
It definitely was. And there you have it, the Mercedes 1-2 amazing race. I'd have to give Romicron my driver of the day. Outstanding drive on 31 lap old mediums. Truly incredible strategy there. Mercedes masterclass. You've seen it before. You saw it here today.
Yep, I'd have to echo that statement. You know, the first Argentinian in a Mercedes to win a race since 1954. So he's really done well. I'm staggered that he's done that. There can only be one driver of the day, and that is Romicron, in my opinion.
And I've just realized now he's had 3 stops. So he stopped twice in the beginning of the race in the first 2 laps, or first 5 laps, and ran those mediums to the very, very end. So excellent win there by him. Driver of the day confirmed for sure. We're going to go ahead and try and get these guys in our interview room, see what they have to say about that. As we'll throw up our driver interviews. Try and get them in the commentary booth very shortly. As we try and find our drivers, they're out celebrating after that fantastic win. But honestly, that's got to be one of the craziest strategical races that I've seen on F1. The pace difference between those two tires were so slim that I looked like the dries weren't the good tire, and then they were, and then they weren't. It kept switching back and forth, and ultimately they were, but no one could have really predicted that, it seemed.
Yeah, absolutely mad.
So we've got Only Use My Dad now in the commentary booth. Crazy race. What are your thoughts on any of that?
It was pretty crazy. The rain got me thinking. For real, it was one of the craziest race of the season, I think.
Definitely was. What was going through your mind under those first two safety cars? What was the strategy look?
And actually, I was gonna stay on my soft. The safety car helped me to push those soft more. I was supposed to pit like lap 13, 14. Instead, I think I pitted lap 19 or something. So yeah, it was a pretty good race. I like the yeah.
Yeah, man. Seems to be very chaotic, and you made your way back up uh, all the way to the podium. So solid drive, and congratulations. I believe you're now very much in contention for P3 in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, we'll try it. Next week is the day, so we'll try it.
Yeah. Any questions for our podium finisher there, Jeb?
Yeah, you had a wee battle there in the sort of the mid race with Ozone Chimera. How was that? You two were sort of swapping places back and forth for a little while. Can you talk us through that a little?
Yeah, it was fun. Middle of the race, I stayed on a medium because I knew that the rain was gonna just leave a little bit before. So it was really like a big fight, but for me, it was just a patient game to just wait the rain out. And the second the rain was lighter, I think it took me two sector, and I was right in the back of the three guys fighting. So yeah, no, it was nice.
All right. Well, congratulations, man. We're going to go ahead and let you celebrate that podium. We'll see you next week, hopefully, to secure that P3 in the championship.
Thank you,
Well
man. Have
done.
a good night.
Now we're joined by Romicron, who had a crazy race, but ultimately his strategy paid off and secured that win. How did that race go for you? What were you thinking on those 30 lap old mediums?
Yeah, it was really, really crazy start. I hit with Chimera. I ruined his race, but I think I beat 3 times in 6 laps. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that you were involved in that lap one incident, unfortunately, and you ended up winning the race after pitting three more times. So by 16 seconds as well. So a very large margin. Uh, did you know that the mediums could last that long?
I was hoping, but I think in lap 24 I thought of beating for Inters, but I was looking at the times and they were not catching me. So I think let's hope the mediums uh, stay alive, and I went to the end.
Yeah, man, that was a great strategy call in the end. So congratulations on that, Jeb. Any questions for our dominant race winner here?
Yeah, how tense were you in the lap 24 to 28, seeing the rain back off a little? It did sort of a fake out, didn't it? It went dry and then it went back to wet. So you really did well on the strategy there. Talk us through that.
I really can't hear you very well. It,
Sorry,
I
yeah,
can't hear it.
seems our connection is a
Yeah,
bit wonky here.
I hear you very, very bad.
No worries. Well, we'll go ahead and end it there. But congrats on the win, man. That was well deserved, and Good job.
It was my first ever league win.
Well, congratulations. You definitely deserve that. Definitely deserve a celebration as well. Toast to you and congratulations, man.
Well
Thank you.
done, man.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Thank you very much.
So there you have it, folks. Senna, of course, won not for words. He's more of the Kimi Raikkonen of PCD2. Solidifies that P2. He's off celebrating, I'm sure, partying already. But that'll be it. Jeb, any last comments before we take off here?
Yeah, it was an excellent race to commentate. Really, really fun. And obviously, I'm not going to be in the booth in Abu Dhabi. I'll be trying to actually finish a race this time around. But it's been excellent commentating here again.
Yeah, man, it's been great to have you. I've got to say that's one of probably the most exciting races I've commentated. I had no idea what was going to happen lap after lap. Solid job from all our drivers, keeping it pretty clean there. And yeah, just really, really great to see. So hopefully we can get some action. Of course, probably no rain in Abu Dhabi next week, but it's sure to be a cracker to find out who secures P3 in the championship. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and sign off here. We really appreciate y'all stopping by. If you want to subscribe for more crazy races like that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, like the stream if you liked it. I know I sure did. That was pretty sick. Anyways, we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.